Going on? Welcome and thank you for having coffee with me. I am going to be talking all things about market updates, interest rates, should you buy now? And this video is for clients, real estate agents, whoever can benefit from it. So feel free to subscribe to my channel, share it with whoever you want. We're going to get real nerdy and let's get started. All right, so first things first is where are interest rates today? Well, if you didn't know, the best way to monitor interest rates is based on how mortgage bonds are performing, specifically the price of mortgage bonds. I'm not going to make you a nerd, but what you need to know is this right here is the graph of essentially the price of a bond. And when the price of a bond is high, then interest rates are actually low and vice versa. So what we can see here, this is over the last 60 days, is rates today are actually better than they've been in the last 60 days. Not drastically, because if you look here, this is a bond selling at a price of 104.5, and this here is like 103.7. So those basis points are not drastic, but it's important to know that as the price of the bonds go up, interest rates go down. So if you've been maybe waiting on pulling the trigger on a refinance, or if you're making offers, you're going to be happy because interest rates are lower than they've been in the last 60 days. So good job. All right. So should you buy? Is this crazy, seller's market, pent up demand going to last? Well, friends, here's what I can tell you. I read a book, and what it does is it measures the generations of births, meaning there were 56.6 million births in the GI generation, which are the real old farts. Then you've got the silent generation. You've got the baby boomers here. There were about 78 million births. This generation was the largest generation until Gen Y came around, but 78.2 million births. In fact, if you're a real estate agent, these are the ones, if you want to target listings, got a little secret for you. These are the ones that you want to market to. And if you're marketing on Instagram, I don't really think there's a whole lot of baby boomers on Instagram. So maybe these people haven't bought in 20 years. Maybe you send them a direct mail that says, hey, if you haven't sold or purchased real estate in the last 20 years, I'm your go-to agent and can make it super seamless. Because these baby boomers are the ones that are realizing that they can cash in on this equity, downsize into a place that maybe there's not a lot of yard upkeep, and be closer to the kids. Then you've got Gen X, which is 69.5 million. Here's what I'm getting at. This Gen Y generation, the first-time homebuyer generation, that is the biggest generation that we've seen so far. 100 million births, almost 20 million more than the baby boomers. So what that means is that if you currently own a first-time homebuyer type home, it is going to be super attractive and high in demand and high sought for because there are just more people. There are more people looking for those homes than there are homes available for sale. And that's not going to end this year. In fact, I just attended a Tom Ferry event, and every economist in America is thinking that this market that we are in right now is going to last for another 3 years. So there are some people that are sitting around saying, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out and I'm going to wait till next year. And this video is really for you because what I'm about to show you is interest rates are going to increase. Home values are still increasing. So if the cost of borrowing and homes are increasing, the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you. So let's keep moving. Where are interest rates projected to go? Well, according to economists at Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Banker Association, National Association of Realtors, which are all really smart people, they get together, they survey, and they came up with these averages. So at the third quarter of this year, they're predicting 3.17. At the end of this year, they think they're going to settle around 3.3. And then the first quarter and second quarter of next year, not too much of an increase, but still a smidge. This is what they're predicting interest rates are going to go. So if you can get a mortgage right now at 3.17 and those rates go to 3.5, all that means is the cost of borrowing funds for no matter what size home is going to be a smidge higher. So if you wait, it's going to be a smidge higher. But what about home values? What are those forecasted to be at? Well, let's take a look. So 2021, we're looking at home appreciation. I'd say that's probably pretty conservative at 8.6%. In 2022, are those home values going to go down? Meaning, is that $400,000 home that's selling today, is it going to be able to be sold next year for less money? The answer is no. It's going to be sold for more. It's just going to be slower appreciation. It might not be at 8.6, but it's going to be at 5.12. That doesn't mean that the house listed today is going to be listed for less next year. You're not going to see a depreciation. 2023 and 24 and 25 is where we start to see normal housing appreciation. So on average, it's usually around 3.3%. Now here local in the DFW area, we've always been somewhat above the average because our job market is so insane here. We've got a lot of jobs, and if you're an executive, if you want to get on an airplane and go to the East Coast or West Coast, it's a good neutral ground, and we don't have state income tax. So in my theory, should you wait to buy? And I'm not pushing you, but here's what I know. Today, a $450,000 home, let's say you finance $360,000, your mortgage payment is going to be $1,469. Based on the appreciation rates that we just looked at, the home today at $450,000, 1 year later is now going to be at a purchase price of $472,000. The interest rate's going to be a smidge higher, which means your total payment is going to be $1,671. So the cost of waiting is going to be the difference of $1,470 versus $1,670. That means that that same house 1 year later is going to cost you roughly $200 more a month. So if you don't like houses today at the $450,000, you probably aren't going to like them once they get to the $470,000. And if you don't have a big change in your income or your debts, that basically means that the homes listed at $450,000 a year from now aren't going to look the same that they do now. They might not have the same flooring or countertops. And so those are real things to consider. If you've been thinking or you've been on, should we not? Let's get connected. Let's run the numbers. Let's put together a budget. I'm not saying this market is for everyone, but if you're ruling yourself out because of you think that this market is high in demand and you haven't put pen to paper, it's time to do that, because it doesn't look like rates are going to go lower. Doesn't look like home prices are going to go lower, and the demand is still pretty well there. So if you have any questions, you know where to find me. As you guys know, I post current market updates and interest rates every single month to my website. Just go to themortgagenerd.com. Stay tuned. If I can help, let me know. Take care.